there's been no shortage of images and details out of Las Vegas after that horrific attack at a country music festival. And the impact and weight of that tragedy is being felt kilometers and countries away. Now, all the survivors of that attack will no doubt be dealing with that trauma in the days and years to come. One psychologist we spoke to says even those of us watching that story, those stories on TV, on our TV screens, can leave us with an emotional impact.
When we watch externally, we have this detachment where it's horrible. We know how terrifying it would be. We know, what it must be like to be there, but we also have a little bit of a safety cushion, and that could be a negative in the sense that if you see these things over and over and over again and you don't have that fear of your own life, you can become used to these things.
What's the impact when those shocking images aren't so shocking anymore?
So one of them is we do know that people will come to overestimate the likelihood that something like this will happen. That when you see these things happening, and especially when you see, here's something in Denmark, and here's something in France, and here's something, you begin to think these are extremely common events, and it starts to impact how you live.
Now, psychologist Steve Jordan says one of the ways to deal with that fear is to look at the facts and understand that the likelihood of being the victim of a terror attack is far less than being killed in a car accident. But he admits one of the most difficult parts of grappling with this issue emotionally is simply not being able to pinpoint why it happened.
We certainly know the brain always wants things to make sense. And we also know that when things make sense, things like memory work a lot better. Like if you see some events, but if you understand how those events relate to each other and the structure, we can remember those events better and we can deal with them better. When we don't have that, when there's this piece missing, we strive for it. It feels like we need things to make sense. And it's a very uncomfortable feeling to leave it without any closure. And the hope is that it makes us focus on the other side a little bit as well. It makes us realize that there are a lot of great things in life and a lot of things to treasure. And if we're fearful all the time, we're going to miss out on a lot of that stuff.
And Dr. Jordans and I also talked about some of the coping mechanisms that some of the survivors could employ to deal with this unimaginable tragedy. You can find some more of our conversation on our website, citynews.ca.